Hi, this would be the point of the video where I usually have some dumb meme intro that I later regret. Unfortunately, since this kit doesn't really have a theme, I have no memes to fall back on. So, here's this instead. Wasn't that lovely? Let's go on to the video. So today's kit is a take on the Master Grade Kampfer, which is an older Master Grade from my understanding. I do this mostly straight up as a painted kit, but I do add a little bit of something into there, which is in fact the full armor Gundam Verka Master Grade. I took the missile pod launcher as well as one of the shields and one of the arms holding the shields. One could say that I jazzed it up a bit. So fucking stupid. So here, as you can see, I'm kind of taking apart my full armor with its huge ass backpack and its various shields. I am kind of glad to be getting rid of some of the excess baggage of it because it is a very difficult kit to pose, as well as many of the shields and the arms being a bit flimsy and tending to fall down over time. So I do want to put the missile pod launcher as well as the extra shield on the sides of the Kampfer backpack, as you can see there, because there are holders for the rocket launchers which I don't end up using. Because what I do is I use pieces of the rocket launchers, namely the ends, to adjust the shotguns, as I wanted them to have a bit more of a Zimmerman from Armored Core kind of look to them, which I think I did end up achieving for the most part, as we can see here. I did use also the stocks of these shotguns and cut off the bits from there to put on top of here, so it gives a kind of a more vertical length. The ends here, I ended up just using some sanding sticks to smooth down enough that I could glue on the ends of the bazookas as well as those stock tops. I didn't end up using that bit that I'm showing off there, but that's alright. I didn't want them to be too long. With the missiles themselves, or I guess the hand rockets, I wanted a mixture of the two options that it gives you, so I cut them off and glued them together, as you can see here. So I didn't end up for the first time on a kit actually scribing. I used the Tamiya Pro Scriber 2 here, which is kind of a pull and drag system, as I'll be showing off here in a second. I did find out very quickly that it's best used with some special tape, which I'm showing here. This tape is thick enough with lots of length indicators, which is really helpful. But when putting it across a long, smooth surface like this, the results speak for themselves. It's absolutely fantastic. This is just a test piece of plastic that I'm using. Not actually anything used with the kit today. As well as some pieces on the shield, I took the end bits of the bazookas I ended up using and attached them to the shield. I just thought it looked kind of cool. I thought it would give a bit more dimension to the shield so it wasn't so flat. As well as it helps out with some netting that I end up doing for some photos and a video, of course. Right now, I'm showing off some bits that I could have potentially used on one of the shoulders. I didn't end up going this route because I didn't want it to be too busy on that one shoulder. Eventually, I got to painting, and this is my first time using chrome spray paint. As you can see here, it's gorgeous, and I really liked how it turned out, at least for now. Yeah, that's some nice looking chrome. It's too bad mine never ended up looking like that again. Unfortunately, after I used some matte spray, it really flattened it out. And of course, because it is matte spray, right? So unfortunately, I never really got that shine back like you see here in these earlier parts of the video. But hey, that's alright. I also do have a chrome marker, which I use for some of the piping here on the chest and for some highlights on the guns themselves and various other parts of the thing. Here's are the rockets. I hand painted the bottoms and the tops as well as the missile pod missiles. So I painted that red to match the hand rockets. I also painted the handles and the pumps of each shotgun black. I didn't want to do them too overboard, so I kind of restrained myself. You know, watching this back, it's amazing how deeply I cut into some of these pieces, like the rocket heads. I probably should have been a bit more careful and sanded instead. Unfortunately, I get a little bit impatient when it comes to stuff like this. So here's all the pieces cut up, painted. I went with a deck brown color for some reason. I don't know. I kind of didn't panic in the store necessarily, but you know, I just kind of went for it. Here's some of the weapons and bits all touched up and put together. Those stuff was really easy to assemble before I actually did the full assemble of the actual kit. Here's a quick little preview of what you can expect later. Look how good that chrome looks for now. Jeez Louise, I wish it stayed like that. Eventually I did move on to decals. So first I used a gloss coat, which I think really helped the decal process in this case. I didn't use it on the Metal Gear kit, but it really improved the durability of these decals. I didn't have like any fall off, which is a very rare occurrence for me especially. So I was very happy with the results. After I did assemble everything, I did put on 2 matte coats as we go on to the showcase here. So yeah, that's the kit. I really like how it turned out for the most part. I think this is my cleanest work execution-wise, easily. There's no obvious spots where I really messed up on the paint or did too much top coat or, again, any decals that fell off, so I was incredibly happy with the execution of this kit. Yeah, like, there's a couple spots I had to touch up with some hand paint later, but you can't even notice them at this point. The eye turned out great. I used some Mika red. I didn't go too overboard with the decals. I didn't want to go too much because it is a very rounded mobile suit, so it doesn't lend itself to having too much of the detailed stuff like you would see on a Gundam. I did use lots of decals from Warhammer 40,000, which is like all the numbers that you see, as well as the big triangle thing on the shield and the rocket pod. Those really fit the theme, I thought, so I was quite happy with how that turned out. So after a while, I ended up taking off the netting. It wasn't really vibing with me as much as I thought it was going to be, probably because it had so much chrome on it. Had I made it a darker, grittier color with some weathering, that netting would have really made it pop, I think. It just wasn't the kit for it at the end of the day. So going into the slideshow next, which is a staple of my channel now. This is the 5th time, that's right, 5th time this has happened now. I do love the kit overall. It looks really great. Like I said, some of my cleanest work. I did drop the shield at some point. I chipped the edge of it, which was a total bummer. But that's alright. Got over it pretty quickly, glued it back on, gave it a quick little touch-up job with some gunchip gray that I had. As you can see there in the image, it's a bit more obvious there. I did eventually take off the netting, as I said earlier, which is fine. Here's all my kits now, all my customized, kit-bashed, crazy shit, except for the full armor Gundam Thunderbolt, of course. I do plan on doing some crazy stuff with that. I'm going to take the leftover bits, what's left with the kit, and make something completely different. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any lingering questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. Do I like this kit? Yes. Do I regret the brown? Maybe a little bit. Will I be back for more? Most assuredly. Do I know how to exit and close out videos? No. Bye-bye.